today's session with Grow with Google. For everyone that's turned up, just a general show of hands, how many of you at secondary school? College? Most. Uni? Masters? PhDs? Cool. We've had a very mixed bag, that's all, of people that we've sort of seen throughout today. Some people looking at career changes, some people literally doing masters and going, I don't want to do that anymore, which is totally fine. At the end of the day, people choose different paths. One of the paths that you'll see today, for example, is IT support. This is where I started, literally did some volunteer work, got into a local school in South Manchester called Ashton, and did that for 5 years, got made redundant, now run my own agency and do some training because IT support was not for me. So just consider that basically throughout any point in your career is what you define it to be. And one of the things we're trying to build here is the whole concept of how I suppose Google can aid you in this. Hence we have Grow with Google. So what we're going to try and go through today is a little bit of understanding of how we can help you with this. So basically the Google Scholarship Program, originally it was designed entirely for, like, for example, job seekers allowance and so on. So if you are on this, you do get this entirely for free. As students, you can basically do the course content for free, but the Google career certifications, not all of the certifications, but what comes under Google career certifications, you can do all the training for free, but because the actual course at the end has an exam, and it isn't just a casual multiple choice exam, it needs to be marked, which then means there is a paywall behind it. But don't think of this necessarily as just, oh gosh, it's a paywall, does everyone want to do this? It's totally optional. I'm going to tell you of other courses that we do provide that don't have a paywall. But thing to consider here is how much, who wants to guess, how much does FIFA cost? Loud? It was about 40, 50 quid, something like that, yeah? How much does Modern Warfare cost? How much does half a night out cost? So these are the questions that you've got to ask yourselves is, do you want to grow as an individual? Do you want to push yourself into this space that actually gives you the option to do this? So I am not saying by all means you have to do this to get a job. But what I am trying to say is, if you're going to go to college, if you're going to go to university, I was quite lucky. My university cost me £1,250 per year. I was in the very last year of that happening. You guys are not, unfortunately, in that same situation. But what you are doing is investing in your future, and this is what the whole concept of this is to see, are there opportunities that we could grow, and can we do it with you? So when it comes to you as individual students, you will get the training for free, but the actual certs at the end are not. But this is where you've got to ask yourself, essentially, do you want to pay behind this paywall to get them? Because what all of these courses are is basically a way of Google pushing themselves forward to give you something that costs often a lot more. If you look at AWS, so Amazon Web Services, they do courses quite similar to this. I'm not saying you should or shouldn't choose ours, but the whole idea of this is to accelerate the recovery of the nation, is to give yourselves opportunities to basically look at how can I push myself? How can I push myself to learn more and do it quickly? And essentially, we are giving you the tools and the option to do this. So you have the choice of playing FIFA for 60 hours, and the next person comes in had that same choice. The difference is that they now have an actual certification on their degree that is recognized by Google, that's recognized by the Open University, is also in partnership with BT, Lloyds, Lewis, and so on, as understood qualifications that are European recognized to give you an opportunity to push yourselves forward. So yes, the option is FIFA or not. Or in some people's cases, they might not play FIFA. They could just spend time chilling with their friends. But just give yourself these options is what we're trying to do here. So one of the reasons for this is since 2015, we've helped millions of people find jobs. This isn't just through this particular program. If you also have a consideration for the Google Scholarship Program, also have a look at the Google Digital Garage. So for people that are sat there with the phones on the desks or even just making notes, please do make a note now. On a few occasions where I actively say take your phones out and write down the Google Digital Garage, please do write this down. There's free qualifications here called the Fundamentals of Digital Advertising, totally free. It's about anywhere between 25 to 35 hours depending on how much knowledge you already have. But again, it's giving you this opportunity to accelerate your growth. This is available from anyone who's 85 down to 5 technically. So do have a look at this, have a look at these options, and we're just trying to give you the opportunities to find these out yourselves. So basically the whole concept is to work together to create economic growth and opportunity. There's 5 courses that they have developed. Does anybody here just want to shout out, why do you think they have chosen these 5 courses? Some people in the room I've already talked to. Please feel free not to shout out. Anybody else want to have a shout out? Otherwise I'm going to start pointing at people. So why do you think these 5 courses?
Skills gap.
Was that? Yeah. Oh, who was that? Sorry. Yeah. Cool. Skills gap. Cool. So what do you think we're trying to do with the skills gap? Reduce said skills gap, which means they've looked at where are the skills gap in the future? Where are the digital skills that people need? Each one of these, whether it be data analytics, whether it be IT support, digital marketing, project management, you don't have to have a passion for IT to understand project management. In most career paths that you go down, you are going to come across IT and you're going to come across project management. So having a look at these options now means when you actually go through this course content and you choose to go down this route, you're giving yourself an opportunity that when they look at the person next to you, one of your mates maybe from college applying for the same job as you, and they've got person A and you have got something next to you that they don't have next to their name, that they don't have on their CV. And this is one of the reasons they're trying to create these opportunities to give you the option of pushing yourselves forward. So what Google certifications are they? What do they actually even mean? How and why do we get onto them? So first of all, each one of these has got some level of options in different languages to consider. It's not always just about English. They are continuously expanding them outside of that realm. But each one of these is essentially less than 6 months. Essentially, if you've got the time, you can do it in a month. But they're anything from 45 to 60 hours of course content, which means it's not a cheeky Udemy course that takes 2 hours and you stick it next to your CV. This is a fundamental investment in your time and future. So do have a look at these. They might say less than 6 months, but at the same time you have to consider, could you do it in less? 6 months means 10 hours a month. I know for a fact when I was massively involved in COD, I would burn 30 hours a week. Easy. I did Zelda once in 2 weeks in 69 hours. Like, that is impressive, but yet pointless on my CV. So start to consider that, can you invest this time into this? Each one of these doesn't need any previous experience. Each one of these is hands-on practical. You go through the video content, you finish the content, there is an exam. That is the point of payment. Again, you can choose to do this, or have a look at the Google Digital Garage and do the fundamentals of digital advertising. Totally for free. So have a look at these options. We're just trying to give you the best options for what you think is required. A lot of people have pondered and said to me today, unexpectedly, I want to do UX design. And a lot of you will have no idea what UX design is. Have anybody here ever been on a phone? Yes. Have you ever been on an app? Yes. Have you been on the internet? Yes. Have you used a till system at Tesco, Sainsbury's, Co-op? Yes. How many of them work fluidly? And how many of them worked fluidly 5 years ago? I got so frustrated with the one near me where it didn't quite work, you had to get the person, but that is UX, the user journey that someone takes, getting frustrated and someone fixing it. It's basically the difference between what you want someone route to take versus the route that actually gets taken. So this is why UX is fundamentally important. I was shocked today by how many people in all different walks of life, from college, secondary school, university, masters, have literally said, I want to do UX. Because it's now driven to actually be a massive job of the future. And again, we're giving you an amazing opportunity to go down this route. The same with IT support. I did 2 weeks of experience at 2 different schools just to get a job being paid as an IT support technician. Again, this course wasn't an option. I went in absolutely no idea what was going on. I just had to go, well, let's see what happens. Here, you've got an amazing opportunity to give yourself that push forward. The same when it comes to analytics. You're going down a deep, dark rabbit hole. But the faster you go down these rabbit holes, the more you learn about them. And again, I'm not going to skip it. Project management, even though these are IT-based, we're trying to see here with project management, there's not a single job, there's not a single anything in life that you do not need to manage some form of project, which then gives you the opportunity to do this. Come in, don't worry. Grab a seat, don't worry. So then when we're thinking about this, there's also one, which is quite an interesting one, that's was launched on the 9th of May. So now they're starting to think into some of these more niche boxes, which is the whole concept of digital marketing and e-commerce. I'm assuming, just a show of hands, and I'm pretty sure everyone's going to put their hand up here, has anybody ever bought anything online? Show of hands, yeah? So pretty much every single one of you. Does anybody have here, with a show of hands, how difficult it can be, minus the adverts for Shopify, to make an e-commerce store? Has anyone actually made one? Anyone played with one? Yeah? So when I am going to ask you a question. When you were playing with your website to make, just on average, just to learn what you were learning, how many sort of rough hours did it take you to get to that point?
Well, to start it up, it actually took quite long with the mates. We didn't really know what we were doing.
Yeah.
We just tried to sell something that we thought was going to like blow up, and then we just gave up.
Yeah.
But it took quite long to set it up.
Yeah, but the main thing is there, you gave it a go. Like, at the end of the day, what you've learned is now, I'm going to guess there's probably 65 people in this room. You are one of 65 people, and these people haven't done it. If you know 33% more than the person next to you, you can sell it for 35% of that value on top of it. So you've got to think that if every single person here needs a store, you've got the confidence to say, I made one, didn't finish it, but I could do it again. And that's exactly how I started, is just risking it for a biscuit. Did you use Google a lot? Did you use YouTube a lot, I imagine? Yeah? So giving that idea forward, this is why they then created the e-commerce. This is why the digital marketing. For people that are in jobs now, have you talked about digital marketing in your job ever? I'm going to look at some of the people who I'm going to class as not young. That's all I'm going to say. So I'm not going to look at the people, but feel free to put your hands up. Is there anybody in this room who has looked at digital marketing when they wouldn't expect it to in their job? So, anyone? No? Yeah? So did you look at it, even talked about it, and is it something you fundamentally knew about or what you've learned as you've gone along? Yeah? Because it's now part of everyday work. It's now part of most jobs. So again, if you can take this step forward to be the person next, rather than the person who's going, I don't know what this is, next time you walk into that meeting and you have this conversation, I know what that is, cash, rather than, could you explain that again, please? And these things do happen. And this is one of the reasons they created this course content. Because they created it with in mind that all of these partners who are on this page recognize this as an official certification. Recognize the Google certifications as certifications that are something that is fundamental. Everything from the BBC, BT, John Lewis, Salesforce. I have no idea who Delotti is, if I'm very honest. But the rest of them, I have worked directly with the Google Digital Project. So thinking about this means that they have recognized these as skill gaps, and they're giving you the answers to the question of what skill gaps do we have? These skill gaps, whatever the words I'm looking for, the gaps that they require in digital skills. So this is one of the reasons, and do any of you, I assume, recognize all but one or two of these? Which means straight away you're giving yourself your best opportunity to do this. And it's not just us saying this. Since launching the career certificate in UK in 2021, 78% of graduates report seeing a positive impact in their career within 6 months. Because if you're finishing this course and you're actually doing content on here, this is course content designed to bolster your CV, to give you knowledge, content, experience. And if you can bring your job as experience with your actual knowledge, you're bringing two of the most difficult things together, knowledge and experience. And until you have one, it's very difficult to get both. So start to consider that actually this can make a difference. It's not just me saying it. This isn't a sales pitch. This is me giving you an opportunity to develop your careers. And again, when you're looking at this, we've also got a rise in 231% of IT support, has seen a 70% increase in job adverts between Q1 and Q4, because we're giving people the opportunity to apply for jobs that they didn't have the option to before, or the confidence. This gives you that knowledge. Case studies such as this one, so human stories helps clearly demonstrate our economic impact on life. So I've started the online courses before, never completed them. They never motivated me enough. The Google courses are so well organized, they keep me engaged, and you don't get burnt out or bored. Because they've been designed with people in mind. They are not a money-making churning machine going, deliver this content, please do this, deliver this content, please do this. It's designed to basically give you an opportunity, which means they're humanized. Again, we've got another one to fill the skills gaps in IT knowledge, did the Google certification. It felt like a mini degree. It gave me the introduction to every area that I needed in my role and turned out to be the perfect fit. It'd be great if we just made these things up, but these are genuine, actual case studies of this. So how can we do this? What sort of things can we do this to make it more fun, and tips and tricks for this? So first of all, how many of you got a mobile phone? I'm going to pretty much bang on average say all of you. If this is the case, you can literally download the app to do this. Once you've got the app, you've got it on the go. You can sit on a train, you can sit on a bus, you can sit in your bedroom, it can be 2 in the morning, 1 in the morning, doesn't matter which one it is, you'll be able to get this. Once you've got it on your phone, it now means you've got no excuse to not do this. You've got the communication. We all love a little bit of social. It's got a full area where you can essentially socialise with your classmates across the world, ask questions, open forums. If any of you have been to primary school, you probably had, is it ask the person next to you before asking me? From the teacher, or some very similar phrases to that. My missus is a primary school teacher. So at the same time, you've got that option to make it engaging. You've got the option to do it with a few of your mates at once. Have your own WhatsApp group if you want. But again, it's going through all these individual stages at your pace. The faster you do it, the better the qualification, because you can get more of them. But remember, this is an investment in time between 45 and 60 hours. Again, bookmark the Learning Help Centre, so you can start to question, how do I do these things? How does it work for me as a student? Payments, for example. If you're doing this fully as a not in education, you pay up front. If you're in education, you do the course and you pay for the exam. If you're on job seekers, it's totally free. It's just about finding this. The 24/7 helpline gives you the option. So what's next for you? Ignore that QR code, please. I do apologise, I did not make this presentation. They could have done the digital marketing course and it would have helped. But again, having something like this that works means it makes your lives easier. I would recommend on your phones, feel free to take them out. It's Google Job Certs. Google Job Certs. CERTS. Do feel free to come over to our stand later on. It has it on there. Again, ignore our QR codes as well. I've pushed back on this. This will give you the opportunity to do this. Also, have a look at the Google Digital Garage. So just Google Digital Garage. On there is a live presentations. You will see my mug on there. I think I've got 2 this week coming up. But one of them to have a look at is find your career goals. I'm very fortunate to do 3 things. 1, something that I enjoy. 2, something that I'm good at, I like to think. And 3, something that, I'm not gonna lie, pays, I'm gonna say good to well. But it then means that I'm doing something that I do not mind doing. This then means that I can just do this because I enjoy it. And if I'm very honest, I don't know if they're in the room, I found out about this presentation not seeing a single one of these slides till 10 minutes ago. But because I've done this enough times, I can literally look at those slides, wing it, but at the same time, I've done the training and all the content that we're doing. But I enjoy the challenge. Pushing yourself outside of those comfort zones is what actually pushes you to learn more. So have a look at Find Your Career Goals. It goes through what you enjoy, what you are good at, and what other people think you're good at. Because a lot of people go, I'm not good at anything. And it's like, actually, everybody has their own skill sets. Have a look at that particular course and the free certification on there. So do have a look at Google Career Certifications, and also have a look at the apprenticeships with Google. There's levels, there's not many at the college level, more at university level, based in the UK, where you can literally be at the Google campuses doing the education and having a job at the same time. So do have a look at Google Apprenticeships, and they do have options, they do have availability. Most of them are in London, but as one of my friends did, he moved to London, moved to Ireland, and absolutely loves it. So do have a consideration for it. Hopefully you've enjoyed today's content. We are going to be based over there on the stand till the end of the day. Any questions, anything else, please do come across. For the people that got involved, thank you. Everybody have a good day, and I'm sure I'll speak to you over there soon. Thank you.